Hi there, it's Russ here, and just to let you know, it's 10 days until the first crystal course starts in Chard. I'm really looking forward to it. Teaching, always good fun. Noticed recently there have been a few people on Facebook making comments basically saying, healing with crystals? Rubbish. Can't possibly work. So I'd like to thank them for their comments, because it gives me a chance to explain a little about how I came to crystals and the way that I think they probably work. I can't say I know because I haven't done the scientific experiments on it yet. That comes later. I just use them because I know that they work for me. When I studied as an acupuncturist, the part of the course was to study with other acupuncturists. You had to go to their clinics and observe their treatments and see how different people worked, how they reacted with patients, what needles they chose, what points they chose, things like that. One of the people that I chose to go and see was a lady who had been a doctor. Still was a doctor, but she didn't practice within the NHS anymore. And I thought it would be interesting to see how someone with a Western science background approached acupuncture. When I got there, in the depths of deepest North Wales, I was surprised, to say the least, to find that she didn't use needles, she only used crystals. And to be honest, my skepticism gland, which is located just about there, right? Started to throb. It was like, oh, come on, this can't possibly work. But over the next 2.5 days, watching, I don't know, 12 patients probably, what I noticed was that the things that I'd been trained to look for as an acupuncturist, changes in the pulse, changes in the face colour, blood circulation, things like that, were happening as if they'd been needled. But they weren't being needled, which they liked because a lot of people are frightened of needles. And I had to revise my opinion. And so I pestered her, badgered her, and eventually she ran some courses that taught how to use crystals. And I attended all the courses, hosted one of them on my own clinic actually. And I've used crystals ever since, for about the last 20 years. So that was my introduction to it, and I think it's pretty normal for anybody, when they come across something that's right outside their comfort zone, to initially say, must be rubbish. And it's not till you start to have some experience of the sensations and the effects that you might want to think, well, perhaps there's more to this than I realised. Now, I'm old enough, yep, I really am old enough, to remember making crystal radio sets. And crystal radio sets basically were a long length of copper wire and a silicon diode. Silicon as in crystal, hence crystal radio set. And basically you could pick up radio waves and listen to the home service, as it was then, just by moving a slider up and down the coiled copper wire to the right length, and bingo, there it was. You didn't need a battery, no power at all. It just worked off the power of the radio waves being beamed out across the world. And I've always thought crystals probably work something in that manner, that they're channeling is a very nice new age word, isn't it? But it's something like channeling. It's allowing energy to move, and to move in certain directions. There's a style of acupuncture that uses something called, I'm not sure the pronunciation, it's Japanese word, I think it's Manaka ion pumping cords, where you connect two acupuncture needles together, usually on opposite sides of the body and opposite ends of the body, with a piece of wire with a diode in it, a bit like a crystal radio, to balance the energy within the person. So that's one thing where, if you accept that acupuncture works, and Western modern science does accept that acupuncture works to the extent that NICE, the National Institute for Clinical Excellence, recommended that acupuncture be used in cases of low back pain because it was shown to be as effective, if not more effective, than standard treatment. And also another research project that I helped a little bit on the periphery of building up the protocol was treating depression, and the full-scale trial of that showed that acupuncture was more effective than standard treatment for people with depression. It was more effective than placebo in the sense of delayed treatment. So if you'd had two groups and one was given acupuncture straight away and the others had to wait 6 months and then got their acupuncture, the ones who got the acupuncture first did better. The ones who got the acupuncture second made no improvement until they got the acupuncture. And for reasons that I'll never begin to understand, another arm, which was treated as a placebo, which seems pretty stupid to me, was against counselling. So they compared one group of patients who went through counselling compared to another group of patients who went through acupuncture. And again, the acupuncture patients responded more quickly. But to be fair, because this was a good, decent trial, followed people for a long time, and after 12 months, the people who'd had counselling had more or less got to the same place as you would have got with acupuncture in about 3 months. So it's not that counselling doesn't work, it just takes longer because it challenges people to make changes for themselves, I think, within their own bodies. Anyway, so acupuncture works. Different styles of acupuncture. One of them uses a diode to transfer energy in specific directions up and down and across the body. Another style of acupuncture, again Japanese, is called off-the-body needling, which is, I find, a really interesting concept. You don't put the needle through the skin, you hold it above the skin, and then using your intention, you make the changes, but they still get the same results. So it seems to me the idea of using a crystal, potentially a diode, above the skin should be as effective as acupuncture. And I get definite physical feedback when I've got the point, when I haven't got the point. Patients get definite physical feedback when they have the point and when not. And they give me lots of interesting descriptions. I think the most interesting, well, the one that I remember most clearly was a Colombian lady, and it might have been just lost in translation, but she said to me, "It feels like ants crawling up and down my leg." I'm not sure if that's a saying in Spanish that I just don't know about, but it always struck me as a lovely picture. So, thank you to those who had doubts. I hope this helps you a little. If not, you're always welcome to come along. Give it a try. What have you got to lose? So 10 days time, the first one in Chard, and then the 3rd of April in Shoreham-on-Sea. Hope to see you all there. Bye.